I tell my niggas I don't need love, a picture rings around my hand. I keep a memory in my heart, so moving on, it's hard to plan. These days I ride around.
Good week. In the books, we are now maintaining a new low body weight of 190 pounds. Okay. One thing that we do need to work on, and I think you are aware of this, is your current level of food. The more muscle mass you have on your frame, the easier it's going to be for you to diet. Okay, the higher amount of calories you can diet on. Okay, so a good cue here for your pec deck is think chest in front of shoulders. Okay, driving them biceps into your pec, into the side of your chest, and try to make your elbows meet in the middle. That, my people, is pretty much the morning routine. So wake up 6:30, cardio, shower, bit of work, have my morning drink then as well, where I just have my glutathione, my vitamin B, my acetyl L-carnitine and my creatine. So the first three of them are all really powerful antioxidants, so I kind of use it to help manage my skin. So 10 to 11, we normally leave to train at about 12. So I'm going to have my pre-workout meal now. The video is a full day of eating, so I will leave it as a full day of eating. I won't bring you through the training or bring you through a kind of day in life. Just going to run you through my meals. Currently, I am 8.5 weeks deep into dieting in this tidy up phase. Food is actually quite low, so today's a training day, which is one of the higher days, but 2,175 calories on training days and 1,975 calories rest days, with 40 minutes of cardio daily fasted, because I have that clean and yohimbine mix going in there, so you have to stay fasted for that, for the properties of the yohimbine to actually work. Macronutrients for the day are 200 protein, 55 fat and 215 carbs. Now, to be honest, my fats are usually down around 40 and my carbs up around 300 or wherever it makes up the difference, just because that's what works for me, and I got to go ahead from Ross to do that as well. I am more of a carb fiend than I am a fat fiend. I just don't really like fats in general, so fats kept to a minimum. I do have a small more fats in my rest days, but right now what works for me and to sustain this diet and to adhere to this diet is to keep my fats to a bit of a minimum and keep my carbs slightly higher. Again, it just allows me to have a higher level of training performance as well. 9 weeks deep, nearly into the dieting phase. The dieting phase is actually finishing on Friday, so I said I better get this full day of eating recorded and out before Friday, or else, did it really happen? Did I really diet? It would have been a waste of an opportunity to record for you guys anyway. So going to run you through my meals. As I mentioned, I've been dieting for the last 8 weeks, so I will put photos as to kind of where I was when I started and how I'm looking now. A fair change. I'm actually quite happy with kind of the level of competition I have now, and we are going to wrap it up on Friday, just for the sheer fact that, first of all, I'm going to Liverpool for the weekend for the Champions League final, but secondly, I don't need to be any leaner than I am right now. What I need to do is I need to build muscle, you know what I mean? So I'm in a great position now. I'm quite lean to kind of go back into that gain phase, transition to the gain phase. My appetite is reset, build on this now, and it becomes more and more apparent the longer I've been here and the more I go to the bodybuilding shows and just kind of surrounding myself with the right people, how much muscle mass I actually fucking need to be anyway competitive, okay? And I know next year prepping is not really about winning. It's not really about, actually winning a show or anything. It's more so about gaining that experience, but you also don't want to be, the smallest guy on stage as well, you know what I mean? So for me, I just need to get back in that gaining phase, put on a bit more size, another push up, enter my first official push. Then I assume it will be like a small tidy up, then a small push, and then prep. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment. What I'm going to do is going to run through the meals as I mentioned. So I will join you now for meal 1. Bone apple teeth. Meal 1 is served. This is also pre-workout meal. So usually, like me, Dara and Ryan eat our pre-workout meals together, but Dara's actually gone home and Ryan is downstairs, so he hasn't come up. So I might eat this and just head down to Ryan then, drink my monster and go to the gym. But in this meal we have 90 grams of oats, we have 80 grams of blueberries, and we also have 40 grams of whey protein, and that equates to 558 calories, 39.5 grams of protein, 7.3 grams of fat and 79 grams of carbohydrates. So this is my biggest carb meal of the day, which I just have pre-workout because obviously today is also density day, so I want that extra bit of fuel in my system going into that. That's meal one done and dusted, and to be honest, it didn't even touch the sides. If anything, I am a small bit hungrier after eating it, but that's the joys of it. Okay, another 2 days of dieting, so I get over it. 11:25 now, so going to get my bag packed, going to get a can of Monster out of the fridge, and then I'm going to head down and train density with Ryan. So we'll pick back up with you when I'm back from my post-workout meal. This is how you know you live in a house with bodybuilders. Monster can selection. Usually this is stacked full of fucking lunch boxes. Obviously essentials. We got some Pepsi Max Cherry, the goat, condiments. I'm currently running sriracha mayo, Skeeter smoky chipotle, Nando's but medium and medium with the garlic, and then just some relish in behind here. What I also picked up as well was we went to the Chinese markets and I got the real sriracha sauce. So not actual sriracha, but it's called Uni Eagle. So this is proper spicy shit, but yeah, gotta go train now. So actually take out one of these. Do you know what? That one's calling my name. I'll take that one. Well, that session was absolutely terrific. Just kidding, it was horrendous. Yeah, diet fatigue is most definitely catching up with me now. Had to kind of devolve the session, to be honest, so the diet is coming to an end at the right time. But that was all the plan this week. Ross said once, you know, it really starts to catch up with me, because to be fair, I was just powering on, I was motoring through, I wasn't really feeling the effects of it. But the last 2-3 days it just caught up with me, and I've so much fatigue coming top of me now the last few days. So diet couldn't be coming to an end at a better time. So one more day after today, and then on Friday we're back up with some more food. This would be a perfect time to say introduce something like, you know, a refeed if I was to go on and to be pushing on diet for that bit longer. You know, maybe a 2-3 day refeed. Obviously a controlled refeed as well. That's where you see people go wrong, is where they don't control it. A controlled refeed is where you eat the same meals that you usually have, but just, you know, increase the level of carbs rather than going and having cheap meals and shit. So let's say in like a photo shoot prep scenario, a refeed would be a good shout now. But because my diet's coming to an end, we're just going to push it out for the next kind of day or two and then get it done. But I just don't need to be dieting any longer. As I said, I just need to focus on building muscle. So post-workout meal is going to be 2 bagel tins, 200 grams of chicken and a kiwi. Total macros on this is 499 calories, 59 grams of protein, which is a bit too high for me, but too high for my liking, but it is what it is. The bagels also have a lot of trace macros there, trace protein, so not all coming from the chicken. 4.5 grams of fat and 58 grams of carbs. Going to tuck into this meal now, have my kiwi as a piece of dessert, and then I will catch up with you in a bit for my top few tips to tackle hunger when you are dieting. C for keen. So one of the most common questions I get asked about dieting is, what do I do to manage hunger? How do I tackle hunger? What to do when I'm hungry in a diet? All that kind of crack. So I'm going to run through just a few kind of tips, I suppose, if you want to call that. I hate using the word tip because it feels like I'm trying to take the easy way out, or I'm trying to, you know, do something that nobody else knows about. Like, it's not a horse race, you know, there's no tips really, it's just a case of kind of doing the do. But there is a few things I suppose you can do to help tackle the hunger that bit easier, or just to manage it that bit easier. So I'll run through them. I'll run through kind of like what you want to hear to begin with, and then I'll give you my own favourite tip, and I suppose the most realistic one of them all, or the most realistic thing when it comes to dieting. So first of all, it's going to be fill up on your fibre. So things like your fruit, your veg, oats, whole grain, bagels, anything with a bit of fibre in it is going to be highly satiating. It's going to keep you feeling fuller for longer. So I would make sure you are getting in upwards of like 45 grams of fibre a day. Even like them little fibre bone bars are absolutely banging, and also they kind of taste like a muffin or a brownie, so it kind of like kills cravings at the same time. So that's going to be number one, fill up on fibre. Second, what I'm going to say is look at your food volume. So swap out foods that are calorie dense for foods that are not so calorie dense. So for example, even things like, we'll say your rice. Okay, easy digestible carbohydrate, great in the off season to get down calories. Okay, but let's swap that out for maybe baby potatoes or something. Okay, so if you take, sorry, we'll say 100 gram of carbs from rice, okay, and then you take 100 gram of carbs from baby potatoes, the difference in food volume is going to be massive. You're probably going to have a bowl full of baby potatoes in comparison to having, you know, a portion of rice. Again, them potatoes are slower to digest in the body. They're actually higher in fibre themselves as well, so they will also be slow for the body to digest. And I suppose again, they just keep you feeling satiated for that bit longer. Third one then is something that I like to do with my clients also, especially when in a dieting phase, is actually increase their protein intake. So usually in an off season, I like to go for about 0.8 to 1 grams of protein per pound of body weight. In dieting phase, for people who do struggle with it, I can bring their protein up to about 1.2, if not all the way up to about 1.5 grams per pound of body weight. That's the approach I like to take with some people. That just means, you know, your carbs and your fats have to take a hit, but again, protein has the highest thermogenic effect of feeding. It's highly satiating, and again, it just keeps you feeling very full for longer, okay, for much longer, because it takes the body that bit longer to digest. Protein in itself also burns more calories while your body is digesting it. So by having that in your diet, you're actually kind of offsetting it by an absolute bare minimum, but you know what I mean, every little helps, especially in dieting phase. So I would keep a high protein diet, and if not even increase the protein intake. Fourth one then is going to be to hydrate and to caffeinate. So hydrate before you caffeinate. Okay, we're going to hydration first, okay? So 1 in 3 people actually confuse hydration for hunger. So good chance you watching this now, let's just say this video gets 3,000 views. Fingers crossed, it probably won't. Probably get like 300 if I'm lucky. So we'll actually just say 300 and be more realistic. Let's say this video gets 300 views, okay? 100 people watching this video out of the 300 are going to be confusing hunger for dehydration. So there's probably a good chance that you're one of them. So a rough guideline could be a litre of water per 25 kilo body weight. Now, I personally think you need a bit more. So me personally, I drink about 6 litres of water, and I get my clients to drink normally about 5, females about 4, especially if you have like a highly expensive job, you're into the gym, you're training, you're sweating, you're also having, you know, salt in your meals. You need that extra bit of water in your diet, and once you are fully hydrated, you can then start to caffeinate. Now, you obviously don't want to become too reliant on caffeine, but there's nothing wrong with a coffee or 2 in the morning, getting that kind of caffeine hit to again push back that first meal, which will bring me on to my next point. But caffeine is an appetite suppressant, so it will suppress your appetite. Again, you don't want to be drinking it too late in the day that it's going to affect your sleep. But you know, there's nothing wrong with a cup of coffee or 2 in the morning just to push back that first meal, which brings me on to my next point, which is going to be intermittent fasting. Okay, so basically just pushing back that first meal until as long as you can really, or as long as you see fit. So ideally you would eat a meal pre-workout, just again to give the body the energy that it needs going into that session, because you're obviously already quite low on food and on fuel. But if you are training quite early, there's nothing wrong with training fasted. I trained fasted all last year for my photo shoot prep, and there was no issue with that. But I would look at pushing back that first meal, giving yourself a smaller time frame to eat your calories, and then it's just harder to over consume calories when your window to consume calories has been shortened. You know what I mean? So no, like, I'm not doing intermittent fasting for any mad health benefits that you might see or hear online. I literally just do it to make that feeding window that bit smaller, and I also feel very, very sharp and alert in the morning when I am fasted. So for example, I get up at 6:30 a.m. on both training days and rest days. I eat my first meal on a training day at 11 a.m. and eat my first meal on a training day at 12 p.m. if not 12:30, 1 p.m. So, you know, from 6:30 a.m. to, we'll say, 12 is what, 5.5 hours. So sometimes I can fast for 6.5 hours on a rest day first thing in the morning, and it's just a case of keeping yourself busy. Just keep yourself busy in the morning, you know, go to work, do whatever it is, and put that hunger to the back of your mind, to the back of your head, because what it really is, it's just ghrelin. It is all, it's the hunger hormone. On to my own kind of, I suppose, tip when it comes to dieting, and it's just going to be suck it up, embrace it. You're dieting, you're in a deficit, you're supposed to be hungry, okay? If you're hungry, you know it's working, okay? And that little, you know, noise in your belly that's barking at you saying that you're hungry, that means it's working. It means something's happening, okay? And maybe, you know, it's just me and my fucking weird mindset, but I love that feeling. I love that feeling in my stomach. I'm like, okay, okay, I'm hungry, something's happening, I'm going to wake up in the morning, I'm going to see either visually a change or I'm going to see a drop in the scales, and that's what fucking drives me on. And there's like this, I won't label them, but we'll say a certain brigade of people or a certain realm of society at the moment who thinks they can never be hungry. They think, if you're hungry, you've an eating disorder. Or if you're hungry, you're not dieting correctly. You should never be hungry in your diet. That's a load of bullshit. I'm sorry. It's virtue signaling at its fucking highest. You're in a deficit, okay? You are trying to lose body fat. Your body does not want you to be in a deficit. Your body's going to release hormones to your brain to let you know that you're hungry. Because your body wants you to eat, to fuel up, so it doesn't die. It's fucking pretty straightforward, you know what I mean? So people need to kind of get that straight. But yeah, my top tip is going to be suck it up, embrace it. It's a deficit. The food will always be there. You can always return to the food. When your diet is over in 6 weeks time, 8 weeks time, 12 weeks time, whenever it is, you can go back and you can smash a pizza with the boys, you know what I mean? Or you can do whatever it is you want to do. That food isn't going to go anywhere. It's now is the opportunity for you to show off the muscle that you built in your gaining phase. So do it. Do yourself proud. Do your coach proud, and don't be a little bitch. How long is that? 9 minutes. Good. Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. So meal number 3 is about to be prepared. This is what some people may call dinner, what my parents would call dinner. For me and for all us fellow bodybuilders, it's meal number 3. I'll do that again. Which is going to consist of 300 grams of baby potatoes. So if you just listen to what I said, baby potatoes, very, very filling, rather than say rice. Then we have 200 grams of chicken that I cooked earlier with my bagels. So I'll just reheat that in the microwave. And then I'm also going to have a square, or a bar, should I say, of salted caramel dark chocolate. This is from Aldi across the road. So put that in the fridge just before I start cooking my dinner. Pepsi Max cherry flavour is going to go in the freezer just as I start cooking my dinner, so it's nice and cold by the time my dinner is cooked. So what I'm going to do basically is just throw all of these in the air fryer and prong some holes in the spuds and in the baby potatoes, and yeah, throw them in there for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes and blast it away. To be honest, this air fryer is the best purchase ever. Ninja Dual air fryer. We got the dual one obviously because it's me and Dara, and we went halves in it, so it is a bit expensive. It's like £200, so like €225, but so worth it. Like everything goes in there, everything. So I will cook this up now and I will show you the end product. Still gonna eat them. Also, another top tip for anyone who has an air fryer is to cover it in tin foil. Cover the actual, this thing, whatever that's called, in tin foil. So all you have to do is just place whatever you're putting in on top of it, pull out the tin foil when it's done, and no cleanup. Work harder, not smarter. No. Work smarter, not harder. But ideally, do both and learn how to work hard, then learn how to work smart. But you know what I'm saying. And voila, just like that, absolutely no tidy up. So just chuck that in the air fryer, it's nice and clean, doesn't need to be tidied out. Tell you, down there for dancing, boys, down there for dancing. So the calories and macros of this meal are as follows. We have 549 calories, 54 grams of protein, 10 grams of fat and 59 grams of carbs. And you can see what I was speaking about in terms of kind of food volume when it comes to the baby potatoes. Now imagine I was to put in the rice there, I would get about half the bowl filled with rice in comparison to the amount of baby potatoes I get there for the same amount of carbohydrates. That's including the sauce. I don't track sauce, I keep consistent year round. I don't track sauce in my dieting phase, don't track it in my gaining phase. And that also included the bar of salted caramel chocolate, which is still in the fridge cooling off. So Condiment of choice is also sriracha mayo, which is banging. Something that I've only recently got into since arriving over here is the sriracha mayo. So I'm going to sit down now, I'm going to watch some YouTube, eat this meal, and then I head out for a few steps. Focus. Right, so that meal went down a treat, and I'm just about to pop open a can of Pepsi Max cherry flavour. So shout out to Mike Geary for getting me on these. I seen him on his story first. Shout out Mike if you're watching this, which you're probably not. I don't think you even know that I have a YouTube channel or that you watch any of the videos, but nothing like cracking open a fresh one on a Wednesday evening on your own in your house. It hits different. It's beautiful. If you're not already on it, get on it. This is going to be one of the very rare times that you see me without a hat on. But the hair growth is coming along. The hair growth is definitely coming along. Haven't got the sides cut now since February, I think. I got cutting the end of April as well. I got taper in April. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a taper tomorrow, and from now on I'm just going to taper the sides and the back and let it all go along on the top and also here, and then once it's long, just push it back. You won't be able to see the taper on the sides, and it'll just look long all around, because I'm actually kind of sick of getting this fucking dusty ass haircut. Final meal of the day is about to go in now, so it's 9:20. Usually I have this meal a bit earlier, but I just got caught up in a bit of work, to be honest. It's actually ideal that Dara has gone home as well today, because usually Dara would be asleep by now, or trying to be asleep by now, and I would not be able to be out in the kitchen speaking at the top of my voice because nobody can hear me. La 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 la. It's going to be 542 calories. We're going to have 250 grams of Greek yogurt, 25 grams of whey protein, 50 grams of, I call it granola, it's like the cereal thing that I got, and then Fibre One milk chocolate popcorn bar. So I'll show you the end product, and I'll show you the total daily calories and macros also once it's made. Fucking massive in that angle, don't I? By the gasworks wall, dream a dream by the old canal. Have no small bowls, so a big coffee glass jar will have to do for my yogurt bowl. As I said in my last video, Q&A, I can't go to bed without my yogurt bowl. Essential. It's fucking different. And just like that, guys, it is now time for meal number 4 and time to hit the hay. So we have, as I said, my yogurt bowl with granola and some white chocolate whey, popcorn, Fibre One bar, cup of Puka nighttime tea. I'd say I drink a combined total of 4 cups of tea a day, which I suppose isn't too bad. 4 cups of tea a day and like 2 cups of coffee before I go in and watch Peaky Blinders. I'm actually on the last episode of season 5, so I'm rewatching it again. Obviously I've seen Peaky Blinders before. If anybody has any recommendations as to what to watch next, leave them in the comments below. To wrap things up for this full day of eating, we have finished on exactly 2,150 calories, 202 grams of protein, 256 grams of carbs, and 32 grams of fat. As always, guys, if you have liked the video, please like, subscribe, comment, all that YouTuber shit. If you're watching it on YouTube, on your laptop, doing cardio, whatever it is, take a video, take a screenshot, share it, tag me. I really appreciate that, as it does help me grow. Also leave a comment, the comments help me also. I'm still just a nobody in the YouTube game. I'm still a nobody in general, anyway. But you know what I mean? It does help me grow, so I would appreciate it. But that's all. Thank you very much, and I will speak to you in the next one.
These bad bees coming to the niz, they don't really love me, but they love me. From Craig been doing the ops, yeah, I swear man done more sales than Gumtree. If I get me that drop.